Look at the blue sky behind it. Look at that, man. Isn't that? Wow. That looks so cool.
While some stood in awe, others scrambled for shelter. Extreme weather battered southern Manitoba overnight. High winds, hail, and torrential rainfall have downed power lines, damaged homes, and washed out roads. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, Manitobans are in recovery mode, assessing the damage and picking up the pieces. We have top story team coverage for you tonight. CTV's Harrison Shin visited South Central Manitoba and the Interlake today to get a first-hand look at the destruction there. Well, CTV's Joseph Bernacki checked out some of the hardest hit areas inside the perimeter. We're going to start, though, where the storm hit the hardest. Harrison Shin is live tonight in Stony Mountain. Harrison, just how bad is it out there?
Well, Marilee, just take a look at this. This is 10th Road East, located in the rural municipality of Rockwood near Stony Mountain. As you can see, the road is still washed out and it is completely blocked off. And yes, our team has visited several locations out of perimeter tonight. And tonight, we are going to bring you some of the questions the residents have, which is, where is the help? It has been a long night for Dale Place. Tuesday night's severe thunderstorm hit 5 of his buildings at Selkirk Industrial Park. He says it cost $30 million worth of damage.
Around 11:30 when I arrived, I got out of the car and the wind was so strong it actually threw me off my feet into the car. So I had to jump back in the car and drive inside the building while the wind was still going.
Here in Stony Mountain, rainfall has devastated homes. One example, the Flett family was scrambling to salvage whatever they can from their basement. Now, they are simply speechless.
I grew up in this home. This is my childhood home, and I've never seen it like this. And it's just heartbreaking.
About 15-minute drive northwest from Stony Mountain, in Stonewall, the region had the most rainfall, 255 millimeters. According to Environment and Climate Change Canada, area resident Sylvia Senchuk says she heard her sump pump stop.
All of a sudden, the water just gushed all over the basement. It couldn't keep up. You couldn't keep up. You're in one room trying to do stuff and you see stuff floating down the hallway beside you.
Back in Stony Mountain, Flett is wondering where the desperately needed help is.
We're all like just at a loss. Like, what? Why do we have no help? We need help. We're underwater.
Now, other areas are also hit by heavy rain and hail. Woodlands with 120 millimeters, with Toulon coming at 97. Tornadoes were confirmed in St. Anne and Otterburn by Environment and Climate Change Canada.
Harrison, what is the province doing to help people out?
Well, Marilee, the province says the Emergency Management Organization has deployed across the impacted regions with more than 50 staff members currently deployed. A command structure has been set up and will coordinate the recovery. They say 16 personnel from the Canada Task Force 4 Search and Rescue Team will join, as well as 21 from the Manitoba Fire Service. Search and Rescue Team have been assigned, and a helicopter is on standby for emergency evacuations and rescue operations.
All right, thanks for this, Harrison. Now, that storm did not spare the city of Winnipeg. Torrential rains flooded basements and streets, causing sewer backups, downed trees, and power outages. Tonight, many are still desperately trying to clean up the mess left behind. Standing by live in East Kildonan to explain is CTV's Joseph Bernacki. Joseph, how hard was that area of the city hit?
Marilee, this area looks a lot different than it did 24 hours ago. I'm standing at the corner of Gateway Road and McLeod Avenue, of course. You can see what's left of the water standing behind me in this empty lot. If you move over and take a look at McLeod, this whole area was underwater and cars were stuck here, as well as many on the nearby Concordia Avenue, with drivers who thought they might make it through but didn't end up making it. One Kildonan resident says he's never seen a storm this long in his 15 years of living nearby.
Whoa. Look at all that water.
Winnipeg's Mike Cooklick's daughter caught this video Tuesday night as he drove home from dinner. He's lived in East Kildonan with his family for 15 years.
It's astonishing. Like, I've never witnessed a flooding like that before in this area.
This was the scene at McLeod Avenue and Gateway Road. His son Caden got his bicycle stuck on Wednesday, trying to find out how much water was still standing.
I've never seen anything like that.
Wednesday morning, much of the water has receded, but some pools remain, showing just how much rain fell. Now, Cooklick has another hassle to deal with. Vehicle damage brought on by another driver.
A truck was approaching it, and he slowed down just before the water, and then he gunned it, making a huge wake, and that water went into my truck engine cavity, and my power steering went.
And he's not the only East Kildonan resident dealing with the aftermath of the huge storm. Terry Barabash has lived on nearby London Street for almost 50 years. He says he and his neighbors waited for a lull in the storm to clear the back lane sewer drain. Barabash says dozens of houses rely on this drain, and the water was rising too fast.
It came down so fast and so hard. There was no stopping it, and I said, sewers can only hold so much. If you're going to repair these lanes this summer, please put in a second sewer.
Hail dented Barabash's car, and some water got into his basement. A few streets over on Concordia, entire vehicles got stuck in the water, waiting to be towed away. Area City Councillor Jeff Brawadi says the city has identified several back lanes as needing more stormwater capacity.
That area around that you're talking about, Rothesay, McLeod, McKay, those areas have been identified as not having very good storm capacity. So those areas that would be relatively high on the list to complete.
Now, in terms of rainfall totals, the city of Winnipeg tracked data that spanned basically 12 hours, going from 5 p.m. yesterday to about 5 a.m. this morning. St. Boniface received the most rain with 113 millimeters. Not far behind was East Elmwood with nearly 98 millimeters. And here where I'm standing in East Kildonan, that number merrily was closer to around 93 millimeters, still quite a bit as well.
No kidding. All right, Joseph, how has the city been responding in the aftermath of this storm?
Merrily, they've had a barrage of 311 calls come in their way. In fact, that number is 851 emergency calls in between 6 p.m. last night and 6 a.m. today. Over 130 were about electrical hazards. 10 were for possible structural fires. The city's 311 service was swamped, as we mentioned. Calls coming in about downed trees, debris, and traffic signals. Certainly a couple of busy days ahead.
All right, thanks for this, Joseph. Now, Manitoba Hydro says tens of thousands of people are still without power tonight. As of early this afternoon, Hydro tells us more than 1,000 individual outages have left more than 25,000 customers without power, including roughly 17,000 within the city of Winnipeg. The Crown Utility says high winds and heavy rain caused extensive damage to power lines, poles, and other equipment. In hundreds of cases, crews are still assessing the damage, so restoration times are up in the air at this point. You're reminded, though, to stay at least 10 meters away from any downed power line, as well as anything they're touching, and to immediately report it by calling 911. Now, a little later, we are going to chat live with a spokesperson from Manitoba Hydro to get the latest on the mass outages and the efforts underway to bring the lights back on. That's all coming up in about half an hour's time. And with those power outages, the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority is warning home care services may be delayed or canceled. It says every effort is being made to maintain schedules, but folks may want to consider a backup plan. The storm is also leading to some major disruptions at our airport. Check out this video that was sent to us from a viewer showing just what the conditions were like at Winnipeg's airport last night. A spokesperson for the Winnipeg Airports Authority says 62 flights were affected, 14 arriving and 38 departing flights had to be canceled, and 10 flights were held until they could be diverted or assigned gates. The fallout from the storm is expected to continue impacting operations over the next 24 to 48 hours. Passengers are advised to check the status of their flights before they head to the airport. It's going to take some time to fully assess the costs of this storm, but it is already looking like it will be significant. Manitoba Public Insurance says more than 8,000 claims have already been reported. Now, this includes damage from hail, flood, and wind. MPI says these are preliminary numbers as customers are still in the process of reporting claims, but based on the amount of claims that have come in so far, the public insurer is expecting yesterday's event to exceed the impact seen following the hailstorms of 2023. And folks in Winnipeg and the surrounding area got quite the light show last night. Check out this. This video was taken from our traffic cameras, and it captured near continuous lightning strikes over the skies of the city around 10 p.m. last night. The footage was captured from the Esplanade Riel Bridge facing northwest towards downtown. Well, it was definitely an eventful night. Colleen Brady was warning us about it and joins us now with a first look at tonight's Skywatch forecast. And shockingly, you are tracking a new set of storms.
Absolutely. I just have to say, though, Marilee, in 15 years of weather anchoring here at CTV Winnipeg, I cannot remember a night like last night when we had active weather, to say the least, over Winnipeg simultaneously with the rest of the South. And you can't help but feel for everyone contending with all that damage. But a big shout out to the city crews, the hydro crews, first responders, and the citizens who got out there to help out. But yeah, there may be more on the way. Not expecting a repeat of last night, but there is the potential once again for severe weather. You can see we have thunderstorms firing off. At this point, they are non-severe, but they have been severe already out in parts of the southwest. And here in the southeast, Winnipeg and the rest of the region under a severe thunderstorm watch. That means that storms that could develop tonight could become severe. All has to do with an unstable air mass meeting up with a cold front. That would be the trigger. Northwestern Ontario, too, under similar alerts. And we've had severe storms that have already moved through the Kenora area. You can see how active it is on that side of the provincial border. I'll have more on that coming up, and a look back at some of those storm totals from the last 24 hours. Let's take a look now through the CTV Live Eye. It's brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution in Winnipeg right now. It's 24. It feels like 28. Light winds out of the west. The pressure's dropping, and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 58%.
Thanks, Colleen. Two communities in states of emergency are banding together tonight after days of disastrous flooding. Premier Wapkaniw got a first-hand look at the toll severe weather is having on the Swan River and Minitonas area. Those communities are located roughly 480 kilometers north of Winnipeg. Since Monday, residents there have been facing an uphill battle, including rising water levels, a burst riverbank, and washed-out roads. Manitoba's premier was surprised to see the serious impact on the area.
We visited one family who lives just outside of town, on a bit of land, and it just looks like a giant tornado tore up what used to be a field of grass, and it's now a ravine. There's like just this huge amount of earth missing.
The premier says Manitoba's financial disaster assistance program, emergency social services, and other emergency services are all being activated. In an interview earlier today with CTV News Channel, Swan River's mayor says none of the town's urban residents are being evacuated.
It's good now, and hopefully it stays that way. There's still a lot of water that's in this creek that needs to drain, but I think that we're on the right side of things.
It's a different picture, though, for folks just west of town. The mayor says some people had to be evacuated as their homes are currently under 4 feet of water. More details on how the severe weather is impacting Manitoba can be found on our website. Just go to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Some upgrades are coming to a Brandon intersection, which was the site of a deadly crash last month. The province says it's in the process of installing a 4-way stop control at the intersection of Highway 110 and Richmond Avenue. A spokesperson tells CTV News it anticipates traffic signals will be up and running this summer. In May, a 49-year-old woman was killed at that intersection. Police allege her vehicle was hit by a northbound semi-truck which failed to stop at a stop sign, went through the intersection, and then hit her SUV. In addition, rumble strips, enhanced signs, and speed limit changes are also expected to be added on Richmond Avenue approaching the intersection. One person was sent to hospital in critical condition following a fire at a River Osborne apartment building. It broke out last night just after 6:30 at a 3-story building on River Avenue. Smoke and flames could be seen coming from the building when fire crews arrived. One person had to be rescued from inside the suite where the blaze started. They were taken to hospital in critical condition. Everyone else managed to get out of the building on their own before crews arrived. 7 people, though, had to be assessed on scene by paramedics. The city's emergency social services team is providing temporary support to the displaced residents. The cause of this fire is under investigation. First Nations police are asking for help tonight to shed light on the circumstances surrounding the discovery of human remains in the Red River just southeast of Winnipeg. The body was found in the river east of Roseau River First Nation on May 14th. The individual has been identified as Reuben Gabriel Atkinson, a Roseau River community member. The Manitoba First Nations Police Service Criminal Investigations Unit is looking into the death. It's asking anyone with information to contact the detachment or tip line. Mayor Scott Gillingham says he supports a crackdown on open drug use downtown, including at the new Air Canada Window Park. Gillingham made the comments following a reopening ceremony today for the newly designed park, which was closed and demolished in 2024. CTV's Jeff Keel now on the new layout proponents say creates a safe and welcoming space.
For the first time in nearly 2 years, Keith Wood and Darlene Mason are back in their daily meeting place.
I was just praying for having this open again.
Air Canada Window Park downtown has reopened. Wood and Mason were some of the first to visit. They say this is a place for people to gather. They like the new layout, especially the number of places to sit.
I'm pretty excited because I'm always looking for a place to sit.
The old park was fenced off in September 2024 and then demolished to make way for this new one with a new design.
It really is the second life for this park.
It includes this drinking fountain, a multi-use stage for programming, which can also be used as another place to sit. There are trees, Indigenous plantings, and lighting too. And unlike the previous design, the new park is level with the sidewalk for accessibility and to make sure there are clear sight lines from the street.
It's about creating a welcoming and safe community space that reflects the voices of the people who use it.
The old park attracted some unsavory elements. Police were often called here. Mayor Scott Gillingham suggests criminal activity will not be tolerated.
If the chief and the Winnipeg Police Service begin to crack down on open drug use, he has my full support to crack down on open drug use. And so if that's happening here, I would love to see that policed in that way.
The $3.5 million project is seen as another piece of the puzzle to improve downtown. The park is next to Portage Place, which is undergoing its own transformation. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The City of Winnipeg has a new plan to get vacant and derelict properties back onto the market. A report is recommending a new one-time grant property owners can use to fix up their empty buildings. $3 million is being made available from a federal housing fund and empty building fees the city collected over 5 years. The city estimates this could create up to 150 new housing units. The mayor says the grant will give property owners an incentive to redevelop vacant and derelict properties. According to the report, there were 535 vacant buildings with active orders under the city's vacant building bylaw as of last September. The city is putting forward a plan for a parking plan at Granite Curling Club. The two sides are embroiled in a court battle. The curling club is upset about losing parking stalls in favor of an 11-story affordable housing project. Now, a new report is headed to the Executive Policy Committee recommending the city put $600,000 towards the creation of 50 new parking stalls for the club. The money would come from the Housing Accelerator Fund and could also be used for improvements to nearby land, such as riverbank stabilization. But the club tells CTV News this plan is still not adequate. Still to come tonight, new uncertainty over the Canada-U.S. trade deal.
We don't need anything that Canada has. We don't need anything that Mexico has, but they need everything that we have.
President Donald Trump says he no longer is interested in renewing the free trade agreement between his North American neighbors. We'll have more on those comments and reaction when we return. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added $1.83. The loonie also closed a bit higher. Gold futures lost $153. The TSX fell 260 points. The Dow Jones plunged 953 points, while the Nasdaq dropped 509 points. A pair of well-traveled highways northeast of Winnipeg are set to get some improvements. The province says surface restoration work will take place this summer on Highway 59 in the southbound lanes from Highway 44 to Highway 4 and in the northbound lanes from Highway 44 to Provincial Road 317. Additionally, work is also scheduled for the passing lane on Highway 8 from Highway 67 all the way to Provincial Road 231 by Gimli. That work is expected to wrap up next fall. Donald Trump signaled today he is not looking to renew a trade deal with Canada, adding the U.S. doesn't need anything Canada has. His comments come as the Prime Minister briefed premiers on the status of CUSMA trade talks. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Well, I'm not looking to renew it.
Donald Trump says he's not interested in renewing the North American Free Trade Pact as Canada pushes for a full 16-year extension.
I don't know that I'm going to renew it because, to be honest with you, the United States does much better. Hey, we don't need anything that Canada has. We don't need anything that Mexico has, but they need everything that we have. And they have to treat us better.
The comments come on the heels of Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc's trip to Washington to meet with his counterpart, Jameson Greer.
I'm eternally optimistic, Abigail.
And Ontario Premier Doug Ford's attempt at a charm offensive in D.C., meeting 20-plus business leaders and lawmakers.
They've rolled out the red carpet for us. They treat us so well.
The July 1st deadline for a CUSMA review now just weeks away, but trade experts and Canadian government officials alike trying to calm concerned stakeholder nerves that passing that deadline with no deal doesn't mean CUSMA falls apart, and Americans haven't signaled an intent to tear it up. But uncertainty is a real problem.
We've seen it so many times now. We know this is just how this guy talks in public. We know this is just the way he thinks he negotiates. Creates the specter that he's going to walk away from CUSMA.
No official comment from LeBlanc's office nor the Prime Minister's office, but Mark Carney has said several times he won't comment every time Trump speaks. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The U.S. president's comments come on the same day the Bank of Canada announced it's staying the course on interest rates. Governor Tiff Macklem says the bank has to be nimble given the unpredictability of trade issues and international events. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
The uncertainty surrounding the fate of Canada's trade deal with the U.S. and the impact the war in the Middle East is having on global energy prices are among the main reasons for the central bank's decision. Today, Governor Tiff Macklem announced the Bank of Canada is holding the policy interest rate at 2.25%. Beyond global factors, Macklem cited a soft domestic economy as a contributing factor. But when asked whether he thinks Canada is in a recession, Macklem said that isn't the word he'd use.
Based on the data we've seen to date, the economy is weak, but it is not clearly in recession. There's been a lot of volatility, month to month, quarter to quarter. But when you look through the bumps, I mean, the economy hasn't really grown in the last year, but it hasn't shrunk either.
The central banker said economists typically define a recession as a significant contraction in economic activity that lasts more than one quarter. And in his estimation, that's not what Canada is experiencing so far. Despite what Macklem said today, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre continued to criticize the government for what he's calling a, quote, liberal recession. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
To the latest now in the Middle East, the U.S. president is threatening to attack Iran again if no peace agreement is secured. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. It reads in part, quote, they've taken too long to negotiate a deal that would have been great for them. Now they will have to pay the price. His warnings came hours after Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan came under Iranian fire. It happened after the Americans carried out airstrikes against Iran yesterday when Trump blamed it for the crash of a U.S. attack helicopter. The federal government's new online safety bill was introduced in the House of Commons today. It would force social media platforms to block access for kids under 16.
In 2023, there were 19,000 incidents of online child sex exploitation in Canada, which is a 500% increase in a few short years. Reports also show that online luring of children is on the rise. As a result of all this, kids exposed to this have a 4 times higher incidence of ideation and suicidal thoughts.
The bill would regulate platforms and companies behind AI chatbots by requiring them to act responsibly. It would include such measures as crisis intervention protocols. The legislation would also create a new regulator. The bill covers 7 types of content, including self-harm, bullying, inciting violence, promoting hatred, and non-consensual intimate content. Professional cricket teams can now add a tour stop here in Winnipeg thanks to a major upgrade at Assiniboine Park. Since 2024, the park has been at work turning the field in front of its pavilion into 2 full-sized cricket pitches. The upgrades include new batting and bowling cages, an irrigation system, and new turf. And the new fields come with a new name, Princess Otto Cricket Field. The president of the Manitoba Cricket Association says the fields now meet international standards and national standards.
This facility will help inspire the next generation of cricketer, establish Manitoba as growing cricket destination in Canada.
The Manitoba Cricket Association was established in 1937 but has been played in the province since 1870. The fields officially opened Saturday for the association's annual jamboree. Soccer fans could be scoring a new pro team. The city is considering upgrades to a Kildonan soccer complex in hopes of attracting a women's soccer league. The stands at this soccer complex might be empty now, but that is not going to be the case for too long. The space could actually become the home of a Northern Super League Winnipeg team. But first, it needs some work. A report in front of City Council says the Federation is asking the city to replace the complex's water main. It would also need an additional $600,000 for new artificial turf and some lighting upgrades.
I want to see a women's soccer team in Winnipeg. I want to see a professional women's soccer team in Winnipeg, and so I'm glad to support this report that would call for the city to participate in assisting with some upgrades in that facility to hopefully accommodate a women's soccer team in the future.
The total cost to bring the complex up to speed is currently pegged at $1.5 million. A large new mixed-use development may be going up in St. Boniface Industrial Park. The city is considering redesignating 110 acres at the corner of Dugald Road and Mazenod Road to make way for the proposed development. A city report says it would include nearly 3,000 residential units, everything from small-scale dwellings to high-rise buildings, along with ground-floor commercial units. The plan features a town center, business area, a central park, and potentially a school site. If City Council gives the green light, construction could begin as early as next year.
Looks like more rain clouds on the way for East Kildonan. When we come back, we'll storm. Those details ahead.
Well, it could get soggy again tonight. It will be soggy again on Thursday. It will be drier on Friday. It just won't be warmer. 18 will be our high, and a cool start to the weekend Saturday. Mix of sun and cloud, 15 degrees. Sunnier and warmer Sunday, up to 20. And then Monday, Tuesday, we should see increasing clouds as we get into the afternoon. 18 degrees on Monday, back up to 20 degrees for a high on Tuesday.
As we told you earlier, there are significant ongoing power outages right across southern Manitoba tonight as a result of last night's storm. CTV's Joseph Bernacki is standing by live tonight with a Manitoba Hydro spokesperson to get us an update. Joseph, what's the latest?
Yes, thank you, Marilee. We're still standing in East Kildonan now. I'm very pleased to be joined by Peter Chura. He's the Media Relations Officer with Manitoba Hydro. Peter, it's always a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thanks, Joseph.
Yeah, well, it's no secret yesterday was quite the harrowing storm. What can you tell us about this time as to the scope of this storm? I imagine crews are working all around the city right now.
Well, yeah, it's been a challenging night and day for both for customers and, of course, for our crews that have been working very hard. We have made great progress, restored power to about 20,000 customers across southern Manitoba, including about 7,000 to 10,000 here in Winnipeg. But just to give you an idea of the scale of this thing, just within Winnipeg itself, there are some 420 locations in the city where there's damage, there's outages that crews have to get to assess and start to restore power as safely and quickly as possible.
And even anecdotally, can you talk to me? I know St. Boniface had a lot of rainfall. Here where we're standing between Elmwood and East Kildonan, were there a couple neighborhoods that stood out to you that were a little bit more impactful for crews having to repair lines?
Well, St. Boniface certainly was hard hit with a lot of fallen trees areas. They did have a lot of trees. That was the main culprit of power outages, was trees, not just branches, but whole trees coming down and taking power lines and poles down with them. And that adds to the complication of restoring power, is getting those trees safely removed from what in many cases are live power lines.
And, you know, my colleague Harrison was out today in Stony Mountain, kind of the Stonewall area, and St. Anne as well. I imagine crews are having to attend to different communities outside the city right now too, not including Swan River. Yeah.
Well, indeed, from western Manitoba, the Parkland, straight through till Eastman and the Lac du Bonny, Hosier area, there's power outages across southern Manitoba. And outside the city, the challenge also is flooded roads, eroded embankments, and difficulties like that. Just a challenge just getting to these areas to fix the damage and restore the power.
Anecdotally, Peter, it seems like it's been a long time since we've had a storm that went for this duration. I mean, what have you heard just from some of the workers who are responding to the scenes? I'm sure that they've been surprised by just how much damage has been done.
Well, it was quite a storm. It went on for hours. That lightning seemed to go on forever. That we can't work in stormy lightning conditions like that, so that delays things. But indeed, this is probably unprecedented in terms of the scale of damage and outage from a summer storm in Winnipeg.
Before we wrap up, Peter, any specific restoration times you can share with our viewers? Any other important information that they need to know with some of the neighborhoods here in the city? Anything else you'd like to share?
We've made great progress restoring power to thousands of customers. There's still probably 20-some thousand customers without power across southern Manitoba, about 3/4 of that in the city of Winnipeg. We're still assessing, and once we've got a better handle on what all the damage is, we'll be able to provide more firm restoration times. But some customers may be without power overnight.
Always appreciate your time, Peter. Again, thank you, and I'll throw it back to you in the studio, Marilee.
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Hydro crews, city crews, homeowners, everybody hoping for a reprieve tonight, Colleen. It's not looking good, though, I guess, by the look on your reaction.
Did you not just hear me sprint behind you from my desk into the studio? Because there is now a severe thunderstorm that is close to the international border. The RM right around the Emerson area has now gone under a severe thunderstorm warning. I'll show you that on the radar right now, but you can see all across southern Manitoba, we've got lightning flashes. These storms now that you're seeing over the southwest are non-severe, but that wasn't the case earlier this afternoon. They were severe for a time, which means that can happen again with these conditions that we're experiencing right now. So you see right here, it's kind of a faded yellow for the southeast. That means we are under a severe thunderstorm watch in all those areas, including Winnipeg, but it's just become bolden right here. I just happened to pick up on that. Again, the RM of Emerson, we have a storm moving through that area right now that is severe. So I'll show you right here on the radar. Right there, you can see it's getting pretty active. So there is the possibility that very strong winds, hail are all being produced as well, and some an awful lot of rain could be falling at the moment. And severe thunderstorms, as we know, can produce tornadoes. Now, in northwestern Ontario, around Kenora, we still have stormy conditions, but areas further off, say around Fort Frances and a little further into the southeast now, is where that storm is considered to be severe. But again, it was earlier in Kenora, so do keep your eyes on the skies in northwestern Ontario. But we're not done yet with the weather alerts. Back out in the southwest corner of Manitoba, Environment Canada has also issued a special weather statement for funnel clouds. There is a low pressure system in Saskatchewan that's producing thunderstorms on that side of the provincial border that could spill over onto our side. We're actually already seeing some of that, but these areas in the corner is where we could see funnel cloud development. But really, with severe thunderstorms, or even with thunderstorms period, we could see funnel clouds develop. So keep your eyes on the skies in southern Manitoba, folks. Let's take a look at some of these storm totals from last night, beginning with the tornadoes. Now, Environment Canada has just updated their information. 2 confirmed tornadoes at this point. One out in St. Anne, it's been assigned a damage rating of EF1. Now, a second tornado now being confirmed in the Dufrost area. We don't have an EF rating for that one just yet. Additionally, there are reports of funnel clouds and tornadoes still being investigated across much of the Red River Valley here in the southeast and the Parkland region out in the southwest. Then let's turn to the winds. These are just the areas that saw minimally 100-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts and more. Dan and Deloraine topping the list at 130-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts. Many other communities came close to 100 kilometers an hour as well. But we're not done. Let's move on to rainfall totals. There they are. Stonewall, a whopping 255 millimeters of rain. At the Forks downtown, 122 millimeters. I know Joseph cited other areas in the city and various rainfall totals in those areas, but look outside of the perimeter. A lot of other areas too are just absolutely inundated, but we're not done yet. Let's check out the hail. Incredible. Various size hail. Now, compared to objects, we had grapefruit-sized hail reported at Otterburn, 100 millimeters in size. A lot of areas saw tennis ball-sized hail. Here in Winnipeg, anything from dime-sized to tennis ball-sized, golf ball-sized hail in many areas. Headingley saw ping-pong-sized golf balls, and then a lot of other areas saw varying sizes as well. Just to give you a look at that, here's a chart that just gives you an approximate look at the size. Everybody knows how big a tennis ball is, but my goodness, everything from smaller sizes here in Winnipeg right up to tennis balls. Yeah, and that's severe by the time you get to those sizes. Now, quick look through the futurecast shows there is more rain on the way tonight with the potential for thunderstorms that could become severe into Thursday. We've got more rain, particularly up in the northeast as this system continues to push up further over Hudson Bay, and it really starts to focus on the north by the time we get into Friday morning and we start to finally dry out and clear out here in the south. Quick look at tonight, 14 with showers or thunderstorms possible. They could become severe. Showers or thunderstorms still possible tomorrow with a high of just 18 degrees. I will have your full provincial forecast coming up a little later. Our first weather photo looks at those incredible storm clouds out over St. Andrews last night. That photo is from Ron. And here in downtown Winnipeg, this is a pretty great shot too. You can see the Human Rights Museum, the Hotel Fort Garry from Dennis's perspective right here in the downtown area. Send us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Something to sing about, how a cultural celebration is uniting the community. Stay with us. A cultural celebration is bringing together the Seven Oaks neighborhood community. Merrimand hosted its annual Cultural Day powwow this afternoon. Those who took part were treated to cultural activities, performances, a free feast, dancing and drumming. Organizers say the powwow is an extension of the services offered through Merrimand, which works with children in care to bring out their cultural identities.
We teach our kids culture, traditions, and having this powwow is a great way to get our kids involved, and this is how they learn.
The gathering typically draws more than 1,000 people. A former high school football commissioner, a Grey Cup champion, and a pair of championship teams are among the new class of Hall of Fame inductees. Football Manitoba has unveiled its 11th Hall of Fame class. It includes 6 builders, 1 player, and 2 teams. Among the inductees are Rick Hankiewicz, Dan Hucklack, Bob Sokulski, and the 1987 St. Vital Mustangs junior football team.
Not only do we have some incredible athletes, referees, coaches, teams, we also have just some great individuals. People who have gone on to do fantastic things.
Football Manitoba's executive director says it's those kinds of role models which are important for kids growing up in sport. The class of 2026 will be inducted during a ceremony on Wednesday, September 23rd. A new national report says chronic pain among women, and especially women veterans, needs to be addressed immediately. Pauline Chan reports.
Hélène Lassalère never experienced chronic pain during her 26 years with the military, but she did after.
Injuries in Afghanistan also. I had like a traumatic birth also. So a lot of things contributed to that. It's not only one thing.
And while Canada's military health care is comprehensive, she says the civilian system is fragmented and challenging for chronic pain, even for a military veteran. Dalhousie professor Alice Aikens was a physiotherapist with the Canadian Armed Forces.
About 22% of Canadian women experience chronic pain, but about 50% of Canadian women veterans experience chronic pain.
And she calls last April's report pivotal.
Women have been underrepresented in health research for far too long. And also, Women veterans have been underrepresented even in veteran health research.
The authors are calling for a coordinated pan-Canadian plan to address gaps in care, policies, and research into chronic pain.
So I had to go to one clinic, for example, for the physio, another one for chiro, another one for kinesiology.
The report calls for more one-stop shops to provide treatments more efficiently. And Aiken says while the gathering of data for women and women veterans is somewhat recent, a plan to collect and organize pain data will ensure the best care is offered to women and women veterans. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
There's a new tool to help seniors get a better night's sleep. The platform called eSpace Aging Well was developed by the Montreal University Geriatric Institute. It provides a mix of training and recommendations for seniors who have trouble falling asleep. People who went through the trials reported better sleep and less anxiety. This is a 7-week program which can be done online at your own pace. The hope is to make it available to the public by next year.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
I'm a free speech absolutist. I'm not the one who's lying, and I'm not stopping them from seeing someone who is.
Logging on, how a sequel to The Social Network is making waves, and a look at its star-studded cast. Those details next in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting the Northern Pikes and Barney Bentall.
Pitter patter, let's get at her. The cast of Letterkenny is coming to town.
Glenn came by earlier looking for azaleas.
Well, tell him to go Iggy azaleas.
Or Azalea Banks.
Is Brandon?
This will be the first time Wayne, Daryl, Squirrely Dan, and the rest of the gang head out on tour since the popular Canadian sitcom came to an end. But now they're taking a brand new show with never-before-seen material across North America with a stop at Canada Life Centre in Winnipeg March 10th. Tickets go on sale next Friday through letterkennylive.com. Well, 16 years after The Social Network offered a dramatized look at the rise of Facebook and CEO Mark Zuckerberg, the first trailer is out for the sequel.
Fire hose of bad information you are injecting into the air supply is becoming jet powered.
I'm a free speech absolutist. I'm not the one who's lying, and I'm not stopping them from seeing someone who is.
That is Jeremy Strong as Zuckerberg in The Social Reckoning. It's written, directed, and co-produced by Aaron Sorkin, and it's based on the true story of a Facebook engineer who shared confidential company documents with the Wall Street Journal. Sony Pictures says it follows a dangerous journey that ends up blowing the whistle on the social network's most guarded secrets. The movie is out October 9th. Well, there are signs people are returning to movie theaters in numbers not seen since before the pandemic.
I used to have your job.
Got to go to Paris Fashion Week. Canada's largest theatre chain, Cineplex, is reporting box office revenue rose to $60.5 million in May, helped along by films such as The Devil Wears Prada 2, Michael, and Backrooms. That's nearly $10 million more than the same month last year and the highest May box office since 2019. The company also said May saw its highest monthly concession spending per patron on record. And speaking of Cineplex, the theatre chain is launching a new way to reduce food waste. Starting today in Ontario, Cineplex says participating movie theaters will sell their surplus popcorn and other concession favorites at a discount through the Too Good To Go app. The app connects restaurants, grocery stores, and other food providers with customers willing to buy up and pay and pick up extra food, often at a third of the retail price. Cineplex notes that all of the surprise bags that will go on sale will be exclusively for takeout. Your primetime lineup starts with The Floor at 7, then at 8, catch the FIFA World Cup 2026 Countdown Concert. E-Talk is at 9:30, and The Floor wraps it all up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S Antique Spa Salon.
Now let's take a look at your provincial forecast. Starting up in the northeast tonight, we'll see showers as that system moves up there. Best chance of thunderstorms is in Island Lake down to 14, Thompson rain at 11. Temperature dropping to 9 degrees in Thompson tomorrow with rain showers and some pretty strong winds. Best chance of showers tonight, Flin Flon, The Paw, and Norway House. Norway House, maybe a thunderstorm there too, down to 11. Cloudy around the region tomorrow, dry though, with the exception of Norway House again, 12 degrees. Lynn Lake, Flin Flon, and The Paw, highs of 12 and 14 for your Thursday. A good chance of showers or thunderstorms tonight across the southwest. Overnight lows, including Brandon, down to 11 or 12 degrees, and more of the same tomorrow, or a good chance of it. Cooler highs, just 19, 20 degrees. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight, 14, 13 degrees. Showers, thunderstorms, and possibly severe ones are possible. We could see more of the same tomorrow. Quickly in northwestern Ontario, you got it. Showers and thunderstorms there, and you could see more on Thursday.
Thanks, Colleen. Well, it has been an incredible 24 hours. As we speak, Manitoba hydro crews are still trying to restore power to thousands of people all across the province. Damage is still being assessed both outside and inside the city of Winnipeg after high winds, hail, and torrential rain lashed south central Manitoba. Funnel clouds were spotted across the Red River Valley and Parkland regions. We told you about how one of those tornadoes was confirmed in St. Anne. It's been preliminarily assigned a damage rating of EF1. As always, you can head to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, for all the latest, and you can get updates on possibly round 2 that will be slightly less, I'm hoping.
Second tornado confirmed to defrost as well.
Yes, we just know EF rating for that one.
We don't have
right?
that one just yet, but we will likely soon.